Russian occupation forces are moving Tu-95MS combat aircraft to Siberia. OSINT researcher M.T. Anderson reports, citing satellite images. Belaya Air Base. The buildup of Tu-95 strategic long-range bombers continues at the Belaya Air Base in eastern Siberia, he said in a message on the social network X. The researcher noted that satellite images show 9 Tu-95 bombers on the apron. One of the planes landed there recently. He also added that there are other aircraft at the airbase. A significant presence of Tu-22, MiG-31 and Su-27 has been recorded. There is at least one Tu-160 aircraft, but there may be 4. There are also several An-26 transport aircraft present. M.T. Anderson noted, the main task of the Tu-95MS is to fly long distances with a load of missiles. They are launched in standoff engagement mode without entering the active air defense zone of the enemy. The Russian Aerospace Forces primarily use the Tu-95MS, the world's only turboprop-powered missile-carrying bomber. Recall, in early April, Ukrainian drones destroyed a landed Russian Tu-22M3 long-range bomber. The Tu-22M3, a supersonic bomber developed by the Soviet Union worth around $100 million, remains a key component of Russia's air force and has been used in strikes against Ukraine. Russian authorities said on April the 2nd that a Tu-22M3 bomber crashed in the Siberian Irkutsk region due to an alleged technical malfunction. The pilot was killed in the crash, while 4 other crew members were forced to eject. Irkutsk Oblast lies almost 4,000 kilometers from the border with Ukraine, far beyond the range of any known Ukrainian long-range weaponry. Last year, Ukrainian forces shot down a Tu-22M3 bomber, bringing it down in Stavropol Krai. Other aircraft of the same model were damaged in July 2024 attacks against the Olenia airfield in Russia's Murmansk Oblast. Recall the head of Ukraine's military intelligence, Kirill Budanov, reported that fighters from the Special Unit Group 13 destroyed 2 Russian Su-30 jets using AIM-9 missiles launched from Magura 7 naval drones. One of the aircraft was shot down over the Black Sea, and its crew was rescued by a civilian vessel. The second Su-30 was reportedly destroyed in Crimea, with the crew presumed dead. Ukrainian and international human rights activists have repeatedly accused the Russian army of deliberately killing Ukrainian soldiers who voluntarily surrendered. According to the norms of international humanitarian law, primarily the Geneva Conventions, such persons should be considered prisoners of war and provided with protection. Russian troops do not adhere to these standards, despite the international reaction. This is reported by the New York Times. 5 Ukrainian drone operators have shared accounts of watching drone footage of their comrades surrendering and then being shot. Some Russian servicemen are so unafraid of responsibility that they themselves post such videos on social media. Journalists recall the incident near Pokrovsk when 16 Ukrainians who had laid down their arms were shot on September the 30th. The video recorded by the Ukrainian prosecutor's office was of such high quality that one of the mothers was able to recognize her son. This phenomenon is especially horrific because of the ability to record events in real time. Whereas war crimes were previously identified after the fact, drones now make it possible to document human rights violations as they occur. Since August, according to the UN mission, 29 cases of killings of at least 91 Ukrainian servicemen who were no longer able to resist have been documented. By comparison, during the same period, 1 case of execution of an incapacitated Russian soldier has been recorded. Some military analysts said the Russians may have been trying to scare potential Ukrainian recruits out of joining the army and make Russian soldiers think twice about surrendering because the Ukrainians might want revenge, the article said. Drone operators who witnessed these events admit that the worst thing is the feeling of helplessness. We could do nothing to help our people. We did not speak polite words. We were full of rage and a strong desire for revenge, another operator emphasized. Let us recall that according to the SBU investigation on June the 17th, 2024, Russian commanders gave their subordinates the order to shoot a Ukrainian prisoner of war and then cut off his head and put it on the hood of a destroyed Ukrainian armored vehicle. This happened during fighting near the village of Staromayorsk in the Volnovakha district. The SBU identified the persons who gave the criminal order. Ukrainian military expert Mikhailo Putler says that the Russian Zvezda Space Intelligence Center, located in the Stavropol region, gathers information from the entire Middle East, Central Asia and North Africa, and also covers the deployment areas of the US 5th and 6th fleets. Let's think together. Who benefits from destroying the Zvezda Space Intelligence Station? This center intercepts satellite communications across the entire European continent and gathers information from the Middle East, Central Asia and North Africa. Can you imagine the territory this station covers? Ukraine is so small in comparison that it's not even the main issue. This station is far more powerful. Zvezda monitors the operational zones and bases of the US 5th and 6th fleets, the military expert noted on Espresso TV. According to him, this Russian Space Intel Center tracks all activity, both satellite and radio, across a vast area. Therefore, destroying this station would be of interest not only to Ukraine, but to several countries, for instance, those where conflicts may begin or are ongoing, or those near or opposed to Iran. This is a global issue. The station doesn't just work against Ukraine, but also against the US 5th and 6th fleets. I don't know why we assume it was Ukrainian drones. Just imagine how many parties are interested in destroying this Zvezda station, located in Russia's Stavropol region. Of course, we could do it, but I don't know if we did, Mikhailo Putler commented. Andriy Kovalenko, head of Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation, says that the facility is one of the main components of Russia's Space Electronic Reconnaissance Network and is linked to the main directorate of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces. Kovalenko said the system dates back to the early 1970s Soviet era, when it was established to conduct global signal interception, targeting everything from satellite communications and intercontinental links to military transmissions between foreign armed forces. Today, Zvezda is far more than a technical relic. It plays a central role in Russia's strategic intelligence infrastructure, used not only to monitor military activity in conflict zones, but also to support cyber espionage and psychological operations, according to Kovalenko. The site specializes in intercepting electronic signals from orbit, including from foreign commercial and military satellite systems. It is also involved in processing space-based intelligence used for Russia's broader military and information campaigns.